The museum had a sword older than the galaxy. The human said, "That's my toy." Celestara Station hung in the void like a jewel, its vast halls filled with echoes from 1,000 worlds. The museum sprawled across the levels, each one packed with artifacts that told the galaxy's long story. Lights hummed softly overhead, casting a glow on polished floors. Visitors from distant systems moved in quiet groups, their footsteps muffled by the station's gravity fields. Jonas Mercer led one such tour, his tall frame cutting through the crowd. He wore flowing curator robes that whispered with each step. His voice carried a practiced boom, drawing eyes to the displays. "Welcome to the Hall of Relics," Jonas said. "Here we preserve the echoes of ancient power." The group nodded, a mix of aliens and humans, all wrapped. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward hung back. They were Earth exchange students, fresh from their homeworld's crowded academies. Sophie, with her black hair tied in a simple knot, scanned the room. Ethan adjusted his tech bracelet, its faint hum blending with the station's ambient noise. They whispered, pointing at a shield that seemed too light for battle. Jonas stopped before the main exhibit. A sword gleamed under focused lights, mounted on a pedestal. The label read, "Relic of the Zorath Empire, 5,000 years old." "Behold," Jonas announced, "this blade-felled empire's, a symbol of timeless might." The tour group leaned in, murmurs rising like a wave. One visitor, a scaled being from Vega, touched the glass reverently. Sophie squinted. The hilt looked off. Its sheen reminded her of something cheap, not forged in fire. Plastic, maybe. The mounting twisted wrong, like it was slapped together. Ethan leaned close. "That hilt, it's familiar." His brown hair fell over his eyes as he nodded. Memories stirred of schoolyard games, plastic weapons clashing in mock wars. Sophie's suspicion grew. She crossed her arms, her simple clothes standing out amid the ornate visitors. Jonas continued his speech. "This sword survived black holes and wars. Its edge could split atoms." The group hung on his words. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes, a scholar in the crowd, adjusted her data glasses. Sharp features framed by short hair, she overheard the students' quiet talk. She shot them a look, dismissive and cold. Chief Darius Cole patrolled the edges. Muscular in his security uniform, he kept a hand near his sidearm. The station's safety rested on him. Alerts flickered on his wrist display, but nothing urgent yet. He watched Jonas gesture wildly, the curator's lean build animated. Cole's eyes narrowed on the students. Whispers could mean trouble in a place like this. Sophie felt the weight of the room. The air hummed with reverence, but doubt gnawed at her. Ethan tapped his bracelet, pulling up faint images. "Look at this," he muttered. The sword matched something from old catalogs. The tour pressed on, but Sophie lingered a second longer. Jonas's voice faded as the group moved. "Timeless power," he repeated. The words echoed hollowly to her. Evelyn Rhodes lingered too, her glasses scanning subtly. She trusted the system, the scans that certified every piece. Cole stepped closer, his boots clicking softly. Tension simmered under the calm. The station's vastness felt smaller now, with Sophie's curiosity like a spark in dry grass. Visitors admired other displays, jewels from lost planets, armor from forgotten battles. Jonas pointed to a spear. "This pierced the heart of a star beast." The group gasped. Sophie and Ethan exchanged glances. More familiarity tugged at them. Ethan's bracelet vibrated, a reminder of Earth's distant signal. Back home, toys like these filled bins in old shops. Here they sat as gods. Jonas swelled with pride, his role as guide unchallenged. Until now. Evelyn approached Jonas quietly. "Those students seem restless." Jonas waved it off. "Earth kids, always questioning." Cole overheard, his paranoia kicking in. Stations like this held secrets worth guarding. He radioed a subordinate. "Keep an eye on the back." The tour wound through the hall, lights dimming behind them. Sophie's mind raced. If one piece was wrong, What about the rest? The seed of disruption took root, quiet but insistent. The group reached a viewing platform. Stars wheeled outside massive windows. Celestara orbited a gas giant, its rings casting shadows. Jonas paused for effect. From here you see the galaxy scale. Billions of stars, 300 systems under the Council's watch. Sophie stared out, Earth a speck in the distance. Her home, source of so much. Ethan stood beside her, calm as always. The tour's reverence clashed with their growing doubt. Cole watched them, hands still on his weapon. The station felt alive, humming with hidden truths. Jonas wrapped up the section. Questions? Hands stayed down, except Sophie's half-raised one. She lowered it, not yet. The pace stayed slow, the air thick with unspoken thoughts. Evelyn adjusted her glasses again. Data streaming. She sensed no issue. Yet. The hall's sterile lights flickered once. A minor glitch. Cole noted it. Sophie and Ethan trailed as the group advanced. Whispers grew. The first crack in the facade appeared, subtle as a hairline fracture in ancient metal. The tour group shuffled toward the next exhibit, their murmurs blending with the hum of Celestara Station's climate systems. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward lingered by the sword display, its pedestal glowing under sterile lights. Sophie crouched, her black hair slipping from its knot as she studied the hilt. "Look at these seams," she whispered, tracing the air above the glass. "Injection molded, not forged. This is a toy." Her voice carried a mix of disbelief and certainty, eyes sharp with focus. Ethan nodded, his tech bracelet casting a faint blue glow. He swiped through its interface, pulling up an old Earth catalog. The screen flickered, revealing a plastic sword from the legendary hero's playset, its design a near-perfect match. "Mass-produced 2,000 years ago," Ethan said, voice low, "for school programs across Earth's colonies." The catalog listed thousands of units, cheap and durable, meant for kids' hands. Sophie's brow furrowed. The implications loomed larger than the station itself. If this were a toy, what else in these sacred halls was a lie? Her mind churned, a rare flicker of unease breaking through her usual boldness. If this is wrong, what else have they missed? The thought sat heavy, but she pushed it down, focusing on the evidence. Jonas Mercer caught their hushed voices. His robe swished as he approached, his lean frame looming. "Is there a problem?" His tone was sharp, cutting through the hall's reverence. The tour group glanced back, curious. Sophie straightened, meeting his gaze. "No problem, just noticing something." Jonas's eyes narrowed. "This is a sacred relic, young lady, certified by the finest systems." His words dripped with authority, but a bead of sweat betrayed him. The crowd watched, their awe teetering toward unease. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes stepped forward, her data glasses flickering as they scanned the sword. "The authentication system is infallible," she said, her voice crisp. Sharp features tightened as she adjusted the glasses, data streaming across her lenses. She trusted the tech, trusted the centuries of scholarship behind it. Sophie's claim sounded like earthborn insolence. Ethan raised a hand, calm as ever. "Check the catalog. It's not a relic. It's from a playset." His bracelet projected the image, the toy sword glaringly identical. From across the hall, Chief Darius Cole watched. His security uniform felt tight, his hand gripping his communicator. The room's energy shifted, like a ship losing orbit. He'd seen crowds turn restless before. Stations like this, packed with 500 visitors daily, could spark chaos over less. He muttered into his comm, "Watch the kids at the back." His subordinate's voice crackled back, confirming. Cole's eyes flicked to Jonas, then Sophie. Trouble brewed, and he hated trouble. The tour group pressed on, admiring a ceremonial shield. Jonas resumed his lecture, voice louder to drown out the tension. "This shield stopped plasma bolts in the Great Nebula War." The crowd nodded, but their glances darted to Sophie and Ethan. The students' skepticism was a pebble in a still pond, ripples spreading. Sophie tucked her phone into her pocket, the vintage ad still vivid in her mind. Kids laughing, swinging plastic swords on an earth playground. It was absurd yet undeniable. Evelyn lingered near the display, her glasses humming as they cross-referenced data. She muttered, "Impossible. A glitch, maybe." But doubt crept into her tone, a crack in her scholarly armor. Jonas shot her a look, urging silence. He needed the tour to stay on track. Celestara's reputation, his reputation, rested on it. The station's halls stretched endlessly, each artifact a testament to galactic history, or so they believed. Sophie whispered to Ethan, "If this is a toy, the whole collection could be fake." Ethan's calm eyes met hers. "Let's find out." Cole paced the hall's edge, his boots clicking softly. His wrist display pinged with minor alerts, climate controls, and a flickering light. He ignored them, focused on the students. Their whispers felt like a threat to the station's order. He'd guarded Celestara for a decade, through protests and tech failures. This felt different, bigger. The stars outside the massive windows glittered, framing the gas giant's rings. The galaxy's vastness mocked the smallness of their discovery, yet it grew heavier by the second. Sophie's hand hovered near the display case, not touching, but close. She imagined kids wielding that sword, not warriors. The hall's reverence felt hollow now, a stage play with the wrong props. Jonas ushered the group forward, his voice strained. "Let's move on. More wonders await." But the crowd's murmurs grew, curiosity mixing with doubt. Evelyn's glasses flickered faster, her scans pulling up conflicting data. Cole tightened his grip, sensing the shift. Sophie and Ethan followed, their steps deliberate. The seed of disruption sprouted, its roots cracking the museum's polished facade. The truth waited, sharp as any blade. Sophie Lane stepped forward, her voice cutting through the tour's murmur like a laser. "This sword is a toy, not a relic. Check the authentication system." The words hung in the air. Jonas Mercer's face flushed red, his curator's robe suddenly too tight. He fumbled with the display console, fingers trembling. The tour group gasped, a ripple of shock spreading. Aliens and humans alike froze, eyes wide. Ethan Ward stood beside Sophie, his tech bracelet humming faintly, ready to back her up. Jonas activated the museum's scanning array. Holographic beams swept over the sword, data streams flickering on the overhead screen. The system hummed, processing. Then the verdict flashed, 99.9% match. Legendary Heroes playset, Earth, circa 2,000 years ago. Silence crashed down. Jonas stared, mouth agape. This can't be." His voice cracked, authority crumbling. The crowd shifted, whispers turning to open chatter. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes stammered, her data glasses projecting overlays that clashed with the scan. "Impossible! The system's never wrong." She adjusted the frames, sharp features twisting in denial, but the data held firm, unyielding, no refuting it. From Chief Darius Cole's spot across the room, it felt like a powder keg. The air thickened, tourists edging back. He stepped closer, hand on his sidearm. Chaos loomed in places like this, with priceless, now questionable items at stake. His mind raced, contain it before it spreads. Sophie pulled out her phone, screen lighting up with the vintage ad. Kids in an earth playground swung identical plastic swords, grins wide. "See? Mass-produced for play." She held it high, the image projecting for all. Laughter mixed with gasps from the group. One visitor, a tentacled being, recoiled. Jonas waved his hands. "A glitch. Must be. The relic's provenance is ironclad." But his words fell flat, the crowd's reverence fracturing. Murmurs grew. "A toy? Here?" Ethan spoke up, calm and steady. "The polymer's tough, designed to last centuries. That's why it survived." His brown hair caught the light as he gestured. The explanation clicked for some in the crowd. Nods spreading. Sophie's black hair swayed as she turned to Jonas. It's not ancient. It's from my dad's old line. Shri. The hall's pristine walls seemed to close in, the atmosphere cracking like old armor under fire. Cole's communicator buzzed. Reports from security cams showed more groups pausing, whispers traveling. He barked a quiet order. Seal the hall if needed. His muscular frame tensed, uniform creaking. The station's vast halls amplified every sound now. Evelyn removed her glasses, rubbing her eyes. If this is true, she trailed off, the weight sinking in. Jonas slumped against the console, his lean build deflating. The revelation rippled outward. A nearby display pinged, cross-referencing, starting automatically. More matches flickered. Spears, shields, all tied back to Earth toys. The crowd pressed closer, phones out, recording. Sophie stood firm, her simple clothes a stark contrast to the chaos. Ethan touched her arm, a silent nod. They'd started this. Jonas tried one last dismissal. Everyone, calm down. We'll verify. But the murmurs swelled, confusion edging toward anger. Cole moved in, voice low but firm. Step back, folks. His presence cut the tension, buying time. Evelyn's scans confirmed more hits. Her face paled. The museum's core shook, centuries of scholarship teetering. Sophie watched the screen, the 99.9% match glaring. It was real. The pace quickened, doubt flooding the station like a hull breach. Alerts chimed on Cole's wrist, queries from other curators. The ripple became a wave spreading beyond the hall. Jonas stared at the floor, his world unraveling. Evelyn muttered data points, grasping for flaws. The absurd truth settled in, heavy and undeniable. The galaxy's history built on plastic playthings. Sophie exhaled. The first battle won, but more loomed. The station hummed on, stars indifferent outside. The Galactic Council's chamber gleamed under soft lights, a circular room deep in Celestara Station's core. Holographic displays buzzed, projecting streams of urgent data across the air. Council members from across 300 star systems sat in tiered seats, their faces a mix of stern lines and alien features. The air hummed with tension, recyclers working overtime. Jonas Mercer stood at the center podium, his curator's robes wrinkled and askew, sweat beaded on his forehead. His tall, lean frame hunched now, pride evaporated like vapor in space. Esteemed council, Jonas began, voice shaky. This is a misunderstanding. The sword is a relic. His words echoed hollowly. Eyes bored into him, unyielding. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes stood nearby, her data glasses perched low. She launched into her defense. The authentication system has flaws. A hack, perhaps, or data corruption. Her voice trembled, sharp features flushed. She gestured at a holoscreen pulling up logs. We've relied on it for centuries. It can't be wrong. But the data mocked her, the matches glaring. From a council member's seat, the room felt suffocating. Elder Kale, a veteran from the Rim worlds, gripped his armrests. Centuries of galactic history balanced on a knife's edge. If one relic fell, the foundation cracked. Whispers among the members grew, a low buzz like failing shields. Kale's thoughts raced. Empires built on these stories, treaties signed under their shadow. Collapse loomed, vast as a black hole. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward entered, summoned by a stern guard. Their simple earth clothes, jeans, and shirt stood out against the council's ornate robes, embroidered with system insignias. Sophie smoothed her black hair, stepping to the podium. Ethan followed, his tech bracelet dimmed in the formal light. The chamber fell quiet, eyes on the students. We didn't mean to cause this, Sophie said, but my father, Arthur Lane, made these. Toys for schools? She spoke steadily, outlining the production. Mass runs, durable plastic, meant for kids' games, not wars. Ethan nodded, adding details. Thousands per batch, shipped to colonies. The council murmured, some leaning forward. Jonas shifted, avoiding their gaze. Evelyn crossed her arms, her trembling voice cutting in. Proof? This is hearsay. But Sophie met her stare. Check the catalogs. It's all there. Chief Darius Cole stood at the chamber's edge, his security uniform crisp despite the chaos. He muttered to himself, "This scandal spreads. Riots follow." His paranoia spiked, hand near his sidearm. Stations across the galaxy reported unrest already. He eyed the doors, calculating escape routes. A galaxy-wide mess meant threats everywhere. Hackers, looters, AR and NGI scholars. Hollow screens flickered to life around the room. Reports poured in. Spears from Vega matching toy lances. Shields from core worlds tied to playset armor. 80 sites confirmed, a tech announced. Gasps rippled. Jonas paled further, his anxiety peaking. Evelyn's counter-arguments faltered, her glasses fogging slightly. The council leader, a towering figure in silver robes, slammed a gavel projection. Silence! The room stilled. He grappled with the scale, voice deep. Thousands of artifacts, across 300 systems. If true, he trailed off, the error's weight crushing. Members exchanged glances, the turning point clear. History rewritten in plastic. Sophie stood firm, her explanation hanging. Ethan touched his bracelet, ready for more data. Cole paced a step, muttering risks. Security protocols engaged. The chamber's holograms buzzed louder, data overwhelming. Jonas slumped, his demeanor shattered. Evelyn sat, defeated for now. The tension coiled tighter, the session a pivot toward climax. Whispers resumed, the galaxy's facade cracking wider. Kyle leaned back, the suffocation easing into grim acceptance. The students had ignited it. Now the fire spread. The Galactic Council chamber pulsed with tension, its holographic displays casting jittery light across our stern faces. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward stood at the podium, their earthborn simplicity a stark contrast to the ornate robes around them. The air hummed with the weight of unraveling history. A holocall flickered to life at the chamber's center, revealing Arthur Lane's weathered face. He sat in a cluttered workshop on Earth, tools and toy molds scattered behind him. His graying hair caught the dim light, his voice steady but warm. "Didn't expect to be addressing the galaxy," he said, a faint smile creasing his face. Arthur leaned forward, hands clasped. "My family made those toys. The legendary Heroes playset. About 50,000 units built for schools across Earth's colonies." His tone carried the ease of a craftsman recounting old work. Durable stuff, meant to survive rough kids. Never thought they'd end up in a museum. The council sat in stunned silence, the chamber's recyclers barely audible. Jonas Mercer slumped in his seat, his curator's robe sagging like his pride. His lean frame seemed smaller now, eyes fixed on the floor. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes removed her data glasses, her sharp features softening in defeat. She muttered, 50,000. The number echoed, a testament to the scale of the error. Arthur continued unfazed. "We used high-grade polymers, tough as some metals but cheaper, shipped to 200 colonies 2,000 years ago." His words landed like asteroids, each one cratering the council's confidence. Sophie beamed at her father, her black hair catching the hollow's glow. Ethan stood calm, his tech bracelet dormant but ready. From Arthur's perspective, the moment felt surreal. He leaned back in his chair, surrounded by dusty molds. Pride swelled. He'd built toys to spark joy, not to prop up empires. A chuckle escaped him, imagining his work revered as relics. Kids loved him, swung those swords like they were knights. His amusement clashed with the chamber's gravity, a spark of humor in the drama. The council members shifted, some scribbling notes, others staring blankly. The galaxy's history, built on playground dreams, mocked their solemnity. Chief Darius Cole paced the chamber's edge, his security uniform taut. He muttered into his calm, "Logistical nightmare. 12 major museums, thousands of pieces to check." His muscular frame tensed, eyes scanning for threats. News of the scandal leaked beyond the station, holo broadcasts reaching billions. Cole's paranoia spiked. Riots, looters, or worse could follow. He gripped his sidearm, calculating. The chamber's doors stayed sealed, but the pressure grew. Sophie's confidence surged, her father's words cementing the truth. She glanced at Ethan, who nodded slightly. They'd cracked the facade, and now it's shattered. Jonas lifted his head, voice weak. This can't rewrite everything? But the holoscreens disagreed, flashing matches, daggers, crowns, old toys from Earth's past. Evelyn rubbed her temples, her skepticism gone. We've been fools, she whispered, a rare admission. Her glasses sat unused, the data undeniable. The council leader raised a hand, voice heavy. Arthur Lane, you confirm these were toys? Arthur nodded. Yup, just toys. Good ones, though. A ripple of gas crossed the chamber. The leader's silver robes shimmered as he leaned forward. This affects 500 systems, billions of citizens. The scale sank in, a crisis vaster than Celestara's orbit. Sophie stepped closer to the podium, her simple clothes grounding her. It's not about shame, she said. It's about truth. Cole's wrist display pinged, alerts flooding from other museums. Curators scrambled, verifying collections. He barked orders. Double security at all exits. The chamber's holograms flickered, overwhelmed by incoming reports. From a distant planet, a citizen's voice echoed via broadcast. Our relics are fakes? The betrayal stung, shaking trust. Jonas sank lower, his career dust. Evelyn began typing, logging the truth despite herself. Arthur's hollow image flickered, his workshop fading briefly. I'm just a toy maker, he said, but those kids' games outlasted empires. That's something. His words hung, a mix of humor and wisdom. The chamber dimmed, the council grappling with absurdity. Sophie's eyes shone, the scandal now a fact. The pace quickened, drama cresting as the galaxy faced its error. Ethan touched his bracelet, ready for what came next. The chamber's air thickened, truth spreading like wildfire. The stars outside watched, indifferent to the chaos below. The Galactic Council chamber dimmed, its holographic displays stuttering as reports flooded in from across 500 star systems. Museums shut their gates, curators scrambling to verify collections under the weight of Arthur Lane's testimony. Holo news anchors filled screens galaxy-wide, their voices sharp with disbelief. 80% of sacred relics match Earth toy designs, one reported, her scales glinting under studio lights. The statistic hit like a shockwave. Spears, shields, even ceremonial crowns, all traced to a 2,000-year-old playset. Billions watch, stunned, as their history crumbled into plastic. Jonas Mercer wandered Celestara Station's empty halls, his curator's robes trailing like a ghost. Stripped of his title, his lean frame slumped. The polished floors reflected his shame, each step echoing in the silence. Display cases stood dark, their relics now suspect. He paused by the sword's pedestal, its lights off. Once a symbol of his pride, it mocked him now, a child's toy mistaken for a warrior's blade. His career, built on reverence, lay shattered. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes sat alone in her office, data glasses discarded. Her sharp features softened in the dim light, her mind turning inward. We worship nostalgia, not history. The thought stung, a rare crack in her scholarly armor. She'd spent years defending the relic's authenticity, her reputation tied to their truth. Now she faced the absurdity, centuries of study undone by Earth's playgrounds. Her fingers hovered over her console, hesitant to log the new reality. Across the galaxy, unrest flared. On a desert planet in the rim worlds, citizens gathered outside a museum, their holosigns flashing mockery. Toys, not treasures, one read, projected in looping neon. Riots sparked in smaller colonies, crowds laughing as they shared viral holo memes. a plastic sword slicing through galactic pride. From a citizen's perspective, the revelation burned. Trust in the Galactic Council, already thin, fractured further. They lied to us, a merchant muttered, watching the chaos from his stall. The betrayal cut deep, shaking faith in institutions spanning 300 systems. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward became Earth's unlikely heroes. Their faces flashed on holofeeds labeled truth tellers. Sophie's black hair and simple clothes marked her as an outsider, yet her boldness resonated. Ethan's calm demeanor balanced her fire, his tech bracelet a symbol of their quiet rebellion. Back on Earth, schoolmates cheered, replaying clips of Sophie's council speech. The galaxy watched, torn between anger and awe. Chief Darius Cole stood on Celestara's command deck, his security uniform creased from hours of pacing. He barked orders into his comm. "Lock down all exhibits. No looting on my watch." His muscular frame tensed, eyes scanning security feeds. Alerts pinged. Protests at 3 museums. A break-in attempt at another. The scandal's scale overwhelmed. 12 major museums. Thousands of artifacts, all suspect. Cole gripped his sidearm, paranoia justified. "Keep the station tight," he growled. Chaos loomed, but he'd hold the line. The Galactic Council issued a directive, its words projected to 500 billion citizens. "All artifacts under review," the leader announced, voice heavy. "We admit the error." The statement sparked more unrest, but also clarity. Curators began reclassifying, and crates of relics were moved to storage. Hollow screens showed workers handling plastic spears with gloved hands, their reverence replaced by embarrassment. The climax roared, the galaxy reeling as truth reshaped history. Sophie and Ethan watched the feeds from a quiet corner of the station. Sophie's eyes gleamed, the weight of their discovery sinking in. "We didn't just find a toy," she said. "We broke their story." Ethan nodded, his bracelet humming softly. "And built a new one." The drama peaked, the absurd truth a wildfire no one could contain. Cole's voice crackled nearby, ordering patrols. Evelyn typed furiously, logging matches. Jonas stood alone, staring at the stars through a massive window. The gas giant's rings spun, indifferent to the chaos. From a distant world, a scholar's voice echoed on a broadcast. "If toys outlasted empires, what does that say?" The question lingered, unanswered. The galaxy churned, its institutions shaken. Sophie clutched her phone, the ad of laughing kids still vivid. Ethan adjusted his bracelet, data streaming. The station hummed, its systems strained. The fire of revelation burned bright, its heat reshaping worlds. No going back now. Celestara Station's halls buzzed faintly, the chaos of the toy scandal settling into a strange calm. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward stood on a broadcast platform, a simple Earth backdrop behind them, a grassy field projected in soft greens. Sophie held a plastic sword from the legendary Heroes playset, its surface scuffed but sturdy. Her black hair caught the studio lights, her voice steady yet warm. "The galaxy thought these were weapons," she said, lifting the toy. "But there's something else. Imagination, not blades, is humanity's greatest strength." Her words carried across 300 star systems, reaching billions via holofeeds. Ethan stood beside her, his tech bracelet glowing faintly. He nodded, calm as ever, letting Sophie's fire lead. The broadcast hummed, a galaxy watching. Viewers on distant worlds leaned closer to their screens, some scoffing, others nodding. A merchant on a rim world paused his work, muttering, "She's got a point. Kids' dreams outlasted our wars." The message sank in, shifting perspectives. Creativity, not conquest, began to resonate. Jonas Mercer watched from a dim corner of the station, his curator's robes folded away. Now in plain clothes, his lean frame seemed less rigid. Sophie's words flickered on a nearby screen. He nodded faintly, a sliver of redemption stirring. His pride had crumbled, but her message offered something new: humility. He'd been wrong, but so had the galaxy. The stars outside gleamed, indifferent, yet Jonas felt a quiet shift. Maybe truth mattered more than titles. Doctor, Evelyn Rhodes sat at her desk, data glasses back on, typing furiously. Her sharp features softened as she reclassified artifacts, embracing the truth with reluctant humility. Toys, she muttered, logging a plastic shield, but well-made ones. Her scholarly walls had cracked, and Sophie's broadcast pushed them further. She began drafting a paper, reframing the scandal as proof of human ingenuity. The absurdity stung less now. It was a story worth telling. Chief Darius Cole leaned against a command console, his security uniform loosened as he relaxed. The station's alerts had slowed. No riots breached Celestara's gates. He watched Sophie's broadcast, his paranoia easing. No physical threat, he grunted, hand off his sidearm. The scandal was chaos, but not the kind he'd feared. He glanced at a toy sword on his desk, a gift from a subordinate. A reminder. Even he could misjudge. Museums across the galaxy reopened, their halls transformed. Display cases now showcase Earth's toy legacy beside true relics. Visitors crowded in, curious. On a core world, a child pointed at a plastic lance, laughing. "I have one like that." The crowd chuckled, the reverence gone, replaced by wonder. Curators adjusted labels, calling the toys cultural artifacts. The shift felt right, lighter. The council's formal apology flashed on screens, crediting Sophie and Ethan. "They opened our eyes," the leader said, silver robes glinting. Sophie's message echoed, the broadcast looping on holofeeds. "Imagination builds worlds," she said, voice rising. "It's stronger than any weapon." Ethan added softly, "It's what kept these toys alive." Their words blended satire and hope, the scandal's sting softened by purpose. The galaxy listened, some inspired, others still bitter. A scholar on a distant moon scribbled notes, murmuring, "She's right. We missed the real story." Cole walked the station's command deck, his boots softer now. Security feeds showed calm crowds, no looting. The galaxy's unrest had peaked, now fading. He radioed his team. "Stand down, but stay sharp." The station hummed, its system stable. Evelyn's typing slowed, her paper taking shape. Jonas stepped toward a window, the gas giant's rings framing his view. He exhaled, letting go of shame. The pace eased, the drama cresting into resolution. Sophie and Ethan stepped off the platform, their broadcast done. Sophie tucked the toy sword under her arm, grinning at Ethan. "Think they got it?" Ethan shrugged, his calm smile steady. "Some did." The station's lights flickered, a minor glitch, but the air felt lighter. Museums filled with new stories, Earth's toys now heroes. The galaxy turned slower now, Sophie's words a quiet pulse. Truth had won, and imagination led the way. Celestara Station's halls glowed anew, the toy scandal's chaos fading into a quiet hum of renewal. The museum unveiled a new wing, its polished walls lined with Earth's cultural exports. Display cases held plastic swords and shields from the legendary hero's playset, now labeled artifacts of human imagination. Visitors from across 300 star systems wandered through, their murmurs soft with wonder. A child from a core world pressed her face to the glass, giggling at a toy lance. "It's like mine," she said, her parents chuckling. The reverence for ancient relics had shifted, replaced by a lighter awe for creativity's endurance. Sophie Lane and Ethan Ward stepped off a shuttle onto Earth's soil, the air thick with the scent of grass and distant cities. Their school greeted them as heroes, classmates crowding around. Sophie's black hair swayed as she waved, her simple clothes now a badge of honor. Ethan's tech bracelet hummed, its screen flashing with messages from across the galaxy. Truth tellers, the headlines still called them. They exchanged a glance, Sophie's grin wide, Ethan's calm smile steady. Their adventure felt surreal now. a spark that had lit up worlds. Jonas Mercer stood in a small classroom on a nearby colony, his curator's robes long gone. He wore a plain jacket, his lean frame relaxed as he taught. Assumptions can blind us, he told his students, their eyes bright with curiosity. Check the evidence, always. The toy scandal had cost him his title, but it gave him a new purpose. He pointed to a hollow image of the plastic sword, a lesson in humility. His voice carried a warmth he'd never known in the museum's sterile halls. Dr. Evelyn Rhodes published her paper, its title bold, The Toy Legacy, Humanity's Enduring Creativity. Her sharp features softened as she presented it via holofeed to a galactic symposium. These toys outlasted empires, she said, her data glasses glinting. They're proof of imagination's power. Scholars nodded, some grudgingly, others inspired. The scandal, once a wound, became a testament to human ingenuity. Evelyn smiled faintly, her skepticism replaced by a quiet pride in rewriting history. Chief Darius Cole sat at his desk on Celestara's command deck, his security uniform crisp but relaxed. A toy sword rested beside his console, a gift from his team. He chuckled, shaking his head. "Keeps me grounded," he muttered. His paranoia had eased, the station's security feeds showing calm. No riots, no threats. The galaxy had settled, its trust in institutions bruised but healing. Cole leaned back, the gas giant's rings visible through the window, spinning in silent approval. The Galactic Council rolled out new protocols and their authentication systems were overhauled. Curators now cross-referenced artifacts with Earth's archives, a process spanning 12 major museums and thousands of items. The council leader in silver robes addressed a holofeed. "We learn, we grow," he said, crediting Sophie and Ethan. The reforms spread, ensuring no relic went untested. The galaxy's faith wavered but held, built on a new truth. Earth's old toy shops buzzed with tourists. Visitors from distant systems marveled at dusty workshops where molds like Arthur Lane's still sat. A group from Vega snapped holopics, laughing at the relic origins. "This is history," one said, holding a plastic crown. Earth's economy sparked, its past now a galactic draw. Arthur, back in his workshop, grinned at the news. "Kids' toys saving the day," he said, tweaking a mold. Sophie and Ethan walked through an old playground, its swings creaking under a fading sun. The grass was worn, like the fields in their hollow ad. Sophie kicked a pebble, laughing. "We shook the galaxy with a toy." Ethan nodded, his bracelet dim, and showed him what matters. They sat on a bench, the absurdity of their journey settling. The galaxy had changed. Toys were now equal to ancient blades in museum halls. The stars above Earth twinkled, a reminder of the vastness beyond. Museums displayed toys beside true artifacts, their stories intertwined. The galaxy embraced imagination, its institutions wiser. Sophie's message echoed in quiet corners, from scholars' notes to children's games. Creativity endured, a force stronger than any weapon. The playground fell silent, the night closing in. Sophie and Ethan stood, ready for whatever came next, their laughter a soft promise of new adventures.